Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian. I'm here today at the Rock Island Auction House taking a look at some of the guns that they'll be selling in their September of 2015 premiere auction. There's one in here that, well, you know, just the name alone is pretty cool. This is a Colette gravity pistol. What is a gravity pistol, you say? Well, it's a pistol, a repeating pistol, whose feed mechanism is entirely based on gravity. There's no magazine spring, there's no actual forceful mechanism, it just relies on gravity to feed. So these were, there are 8 different patents involved in these, and those range from 1850 to 1854. When these pistols were finally ready, which would have been about 1854, they were then actually taken and shown at the Paris exhibition in 1855, got some notoriety, and, you know, they're a pretty interesting little mechanism. This thing holds 20 cartridges, believe it or not. Why don't I go ahead and bring the camera back here and let me show you how it holds those cartridges and how it feeds and fires them. So I want to begin by pointing out that this wasn't meant to be a military or a self-defensive pistol, really. This was a parlor pistol for sport shooting, really. And let's start with the ammunition. It was pretty low-powered ammunition. It was an 11mm cartridge, but a very, very short one. And it was actually a rocketball type of projectile, where you had a large hollow base inside the bullet, and that was filled with powder and a primer and a sealing patch at the back, very much like the ammunition for the American Volcanic series. So you actually had a self-contained cartridge in this gun in 1854, 1855, which is really as early as the Volcanics and the Volition repeaters in the United States. Now, to load the gun, we would actually start by popping open this cap at the muzzle, and you drop your cartridges down in here. It's not even a fully contained tube, but it is contained enough to keep the cartridges from falling out. You could fit 20 of them in this area. Once you had it full, just snap that back shut. Then you're ready to start going to work. What we have here is a little rammer, sort of. And when I cock the hammer, there are actually 2 positions. There's sort of a half cock, and when the gun is at half cock, it has lifted the breech block up in line with this tube full of cartridges. You can see a hole right down there. That is the breech of the gun. That's where the cartridge to be fired sits. So the reason this is called a gravity pistol is that you would put the hammer at half cock like this, and then hold the muzzle up like I am now, maybe jiggle it a little bit, get a cartridge to fall into your breech block there. Then, when you cock the hammer the rest of the way, the breech block is going to snap down into place. So, what we have, we've now cut off the supply of cartridges, so the rest are still sitting up here. We now have the 1 cartridge that we just loaded in this breech block, lined up with the barrel, ready to fire. There is a hole in the back of the breech block for this big fixed firing pin. And when I pull the trigger, hammer goes forward, detonates the primer inside the bullet, fires the projectile, and out it goes. Rocketball style cartridges like this were never able to contain all that much gunpowder. They were always pretty weak cartridges, and this is no exception. But, of course, this was meant for, frankly, parlor shooting, and having a light, underpowered cartridge was kind of the idea. It wouldn't make all that much noise, wouldn't make very much recoil at all. It'd be a very pleasant, entertaining thing to shoot in your parlor for sport. So once you've fired a cartridge, of course it is a self-contained cartridge, so everything goes out the bore. There's no empty case left to eject. You simply put the hammer at half cock again, tilt the pistol up, drop another cartridge into the breech, fully cock the hammer, and you're ready to fire again. You can do this, like I said, 20 times. Now, I do also want to point out there's an interesting feature on these. When I have the gun at half cock, you can see there's another hole in the breech block. Now that hole is connected directly to the main breech block. They're the same component. So this hole down here will never have a cartridge in it. Instead, this is there to allow cleaning access, because with this sealed breech block, it's effectively kind of like cleaning a muzzleloader. You don't have any way to run a patch all the way through the barrel. So we have a second hole down here just to give you access for cleaning. You'll notice there's a little spiked post that fits into, let's see if I can get some light on it. That fits into a locating hole in the bottom of the breech block just to keep everything lined up. So Colette was the name of the gun-making company that actually produced these. They are marked very small around the screw hole in the back of the tang there. The inventor was actually a man named Herman Jean Nicholas, who was an employee of Colette at the time. The patent is in his name, and transferred, or patents, are typically granted to him and then transferred to Colette to use. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I think this is probably a safe bet to say this is the sort of thing a lot of people haven't heard of, and that's what we're always trying to look for here. So if you'd like to add this to your own personal collection, it is, of course, coming up for sale. If you check the description text below, you'll see a link to Rock Island's catalog page for it. You can go ahead and check out their high-res pictures, create an account online if you don't already have one with Rock Island, and place a bid if this is the sort of thing you're into. So thanks for watching.